You heard the testimony of the two neighbors, the boys that lived next to you,
Yes.
and you heard that they were actually questioned. I think the audio, they were audio interviewed. You heard from Detective Copsel. I think it was a couple of days later on the 25th of February or 27th of February.
Yes.
And you heard their testimony earlier this week,
Yes.
where they hear a kind of a thumping sound starting at the top of the steps, ending at the bottom.
Yes.
Have they got the night wrong?
Yes.
So explain to the jury that.
So it was the night before. Again, I was sleeping, and in the middle of the night with the door barricaded, he came in and ripped me out of the bed. And first got me with one hand, and then got both hands and pulled me completely off of the bed. And then, like a caveman, had my hair like this and was going down the stairwell, taking me with him to come downstairs so I could sit and drink with him.
Do you believe that's the noise that the two neighbor boys heard,
I absolutely do.
and it was just the night before?
Correct.
Now, some of the time when this abuse occurred, you called the police,
Yes.
and other times the police were not called.
Correct.
I want to refer to you the first time, I believe, you mentioned the 911 call. I believe that was July 25th of 2018.
Yes.
And that was the incident in which Georgia kicked you in the eye,
Stomped me, yes.
stomped you in the eye. And you had grabbed his neck.
Yes, I was able to get my arms out from him pinning me down with his knees and grab his neck.
So law enforcement came and investigated,
Yes.
and both of you were arrested.
Correct.
Do you recall asking the officer when you were arrested, why am I being arrested?
Many times, yes.
Do you recall asking the officer, why am I being arrested?
Yes.
And do you recall making any other statements to law enforcement as to why you did what you did to George?
That was the first time ever that I actually officially fought back.
Did you tell the officer that you were fighting back?
Yes, because I was in complete shock that I was getting arrested because of it.
Now, on the 2-minute video, the suitcase video, you mentioned to him, I think you said something, I can't breathe. He said, I can't breathe, and you said, that's how I feel when you're choking me. Were you referring to an isolated incident of the night before, 2 nights before, or whatever, or were you referring to in general?
In general, the more than 2 or 3, 4 times that he had done it.
Okay. And then the part about cheating, he didn't physically cheat on you.
No, he did not.
Okay. And just, I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but what are you referring to there?
George was, I believe, addicted to pornography, and a lot of that would be found on my phone from him supposedly wanting to call about job interviews. And as a solution, I sat him down and I explained to him, to me, that's you visualizing yourself with someone else, or at least having a pleasurable moment with someone else or watching other people. And to me, I told him that I considered that cheating on me.
Okay. And so he would download that on your phone?
Yes.
Why did you stay with him? You got to tell the jury.
As anyone who has ever been in love, or when you love someone, or primarily someone or something, you go above and beyond, and you tolerate and you endure and you persevere, and you try to make that person as spectacular as you possibly can, no matter the sacrifice that you may have to go through to serve someone else in a positive light so they can be better people for themselves, and to just make them a happier person. And love is very strong, and love is very deep, and love, I believe, is not fully understood in a lot of ways for how different people react to it. And I very much, deeply, and passionately love George. I love him to this day.
Did you not want to be alone?
Beginning through my divorce, it was very nice to have him around, and he was a man to me, and I felt protected, and he's very nice, and as lame as it sounds, he used to compliment me, and it made my day. So, yes.
During that period of time when you first started seeing George, would it be fair to say that you had low self-esteem?
Yes.
Now, we talked about this previous arrest where you told the officer you were fighting back and you got arrested. Now, I want to talk about your conversations with law enforcement. But first, I want to ask you, why did you go to the police station that day when you were interrogated there? We saw the 2-hour video. Tell the jury.
The day of the incident, the detective Copsell gave me her business card with her personal cell phone number on it, and said if I happened to remember anything or anything that I would like to add to the day, for me to not hesitate to give her a call. So throughout the rest of the evening, something was off. I didn't feel comfortable with what she told me and how she told it to me.
How long were you at the scene?
Gosh, all day, from the moment that they were there to the moment that the coroner's van drove off.
All right, when it ended, did you stay in your home?
No, I raced inside and collected some pajamas and a toothbrush, and I went over to where my son was at my ex-husband's house.
Did you take the dogs?
I didn't even feed them. It was so fast.
All right, and then once you got over to your ex-husband's, what happened? Is it released to Detective Copsell?
Something just wasn't sitting right with me, and I had a suspicion that she just wasn't being honest with me, so I took it upon myself.
Sustained.
So you called her. Tell us about that.
I called her, and I told her that I felt that she was being dishonest with me. She originally had told me that due to her being pregnant, it would just be a lot easier for her to have me come down to the station to pick up my phone. The original plan was for she and Detective Lowen to return the phone to my apartment. But she said that it would be a lot easier for me to just come down and pick it up because I remember when I was pregnant. That's what she said. You remember when you were pregnant. So I said, I feel that you're tricking me, and I feel that you're being very sneaky about something, and I don't believe that you're being honest with me. And I said, regardless, I'm still going to come.
Sustained.
So you agreed to come, but you understood it was to get your phone?
Correct.